Welcome, everybody. I'm going to try to take up about 45 to 50 minutes of the hour with the presentation and then leave it to questions because I plan on creating some. As you've probably seen over the past few years, we've had a few different slogans and stuff we did. We were keeping you close to things that matter and all that. We are back to making neighborhoods safer. I am your business development slash territory account manager. There are one to two more of me in the country. They all link to my calendar, so for any reason, if I'm not available, they will be. But this email goes directly to me, and I'm pretty good about answering them quickly. Today, we're going to start off talking about all the new devices, the capabilities, and then our capabilities with them. We're going to start with the new doorbells. So right now, there are two doorbells, and there's two versions of one of them. So when we look at our current comparison chart, we have the existing doorbell wired, which you guys are familiar with, and then we have the wired doorbell plus, and this is the second generation, and this is one of the new devices. So we can see it's 2K head-to-toe video, true color. That head-to-toe is the 140 by 140, 3D motion detection. Has pretty much everything you'd want in a hardwired doorbell. This one's going to be the main choice for things like builders, multifamily communities, things like that. The Wired Doorbell Pro, this is what we formerly knew as the Pro 2. This is going to stay around for a little while. And it has an update, which is the Wired Doorbell Pro 3rd Gen, or what I call the Wired Pro 4K, because it's the only 4K Pro. So it makes the naming a little bit easier. If you are getting hung up on the names on this sheet here, which I'm going to send to the Davis team so you guys have it for laminated comparison charts. I have a few of them. This ASIN number corresponds to only one SKU. That is our internal numbering. So if someone's asking for a Pro and you're not sure which one, you can ask them about resolution, or you can ask them to send you that code. The Wired Doorbell Pro comes in both wired and PoE versions. It is the same doorbell. So if you get a wired version, but you have a PoE adapter from a previous install or leftover from a mounting solution, you can always convert them back and forth. This doorbell is not the replacement for the PoE Elite. That one you can see on ring.com right now. It's going to be pre-orderable sometime in the coming weeks, but there will be a replacement for the Elite, which was our single gang PoE doorbell. So we're not replacing the Elite with the Pro. We're simply adding another PoE option to the assortment. Both will be 4K, and the Battery Doorbell Pro PoE can also be wired if the situation dictates. All of the battery doorbells are as they have been for the past year. I always recommend to our dealers that they carry the Battery Doorbell Plus because it's hard to find a place that doesn't work. It only needs 5 volts to charge the battery, and the battery is removable. So if you're in a situation where a dealer's going out to a job and they have no idea what type of wiring or what condition that wiring is in, the Battery Doorbell Plus will function on a flat surface that has Wi-Fi. It also has the solar and the hardwire kits and all those other things, but that is our most fail-safe. It's going to get installed today doorbell. As we dive a little bit deeper into each one, this is the new Wired Doorbell Plus. It's a little bit thinner, it's a little bit taller, and it's much nicer looking. The way that you'll make the other finishes that you see down in the right corner is they're gonna buy the gray one so that you guys don't have to stock 15 doorbells on the shelf. They buy this one and then they buy the faceplate. There's also a discount on the faceplate. It works out better for everybody, and we don't have to take up 12 square foot of shelving with one doorbell. Uh, Retinal Vision 2K, it's going to give you like 4-time really good zoom, 3D motion detection, which in the previous generation was reserved for our pro level devices, and then the low light sight is awesome. The Wired Doorbell Pro, this thing is a powerhouse. 24/7 recording from a doorbell, dual band if you're not going to use the PoE, 4K head to toe video, 10 times zoom. And I focus on that because you don't realize how big of a difference 4K makes until you zoom in when you have like a stick up cam Elite next to a wired doorbell pro or an outdoor cam pro and you zoom in and it doesn't turn into Minecraft, it is out of this world. So, especially this is now our first doorbell that has 24/7 recording. And then it has all of our adaptive night vision, low light sight. So it does two different things for depending on how dark outside it is. But being able to zoom in on license plates, name tags, people's faces, logos on shirts, finding out if it's a dog or a skunk. These are really important things that now we are fully capable of in a nice, sleek doorbell. Again, you're going to buy the gray and then you're going to buy the faceplate that goes along with it. It works really nice for once the doorbell's in, you can kind of flip from it's just a doorbell installation to now it's a design conversation. Do you want me to match the shutters? Do you want me to match the flowers outside? Are you going to paint the house soon? Can I come back? Can I sell you multiple? It's just a way for us to solve an additional need that they didn't know they had yet. Next is our camera lineup. So as you'll see, we now have a Plus and two Pros. The naming convention will get easier. We will have a regular, a Plus, and a Pro at pretty much everything. But as we go across, there's pretty much a 1080p, a 2K, and a 4K solution at every type of camera outside of the indoor cam. That should simplify a lot for our dealers when we're out at a job and we know it's going to be six cameras. Instead of having to walk around the house and go, and now which camera do you want here? And now which camera do you want here? They can say we offer 1080p, 2K, and 4K packages. We also offer 4K with lights. They go, ooh, I'll take the 4K with lights. Great. We're going to do Spotlight Cam Pros in the new generation. We're going to hook them up via PoE to keep them off their Wi-Fi. And again, all these ASINs are here. And I'm going to simplify this a little bit more as we move forward through these cameras. The new Indoor Cam Plus still has a privacy shield, a shutter cover, whatever we call it. It does have very good balance in low light sight. It has the 4x zoom, so we can see that up in the corner where we're checking to see if burners are on. It's a common use for our products. Um, Obviously, it still does everything it used to do. You can mount it upside down. You can slide it over. You can two-way talk. It's now 24/7, which does require the subscription, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I have one of these in my kitchen and one of these in my living room for when I leave the house to keep an eye on the dog. And paired with the AI video descriptions, I don't have to open the app every time it says there's motion in the kitchen. It'll say, your dog is standing at the back door on its hind legs. Your dog is sitting on the couch. Your dog is howling. It'll give me those descriptions so I don't have to stop what I'm doing and go all the way into the app. It just goes like, hey, dog's okay, which is the purpose for these cameras. This is still the only camera in the lineup that can be mounted upside down, and then it can be flipped in the app with the image. It also has a removable USB-C, and that's going to be important because we now do with our PoE cameras an Ethernet to USB-C adapter. So for our low voltage dealers who don't want to put an outlet on the ceiling or subcontract it out, now they can run Ethernet to that spot, use one of our PoE adapters, whether they buy it separately or they get it in the PoE doorbell and they end up wiring it and now they have one left over, or the same thing for a PoE camera that ends up being, solar powered or hardwired, and now we have an extra PoE dongle. Well, great. Now we have a low voltage power solution that keeps the house beautiful but solves a need. That same connection is available on the Outdoor Cam Pro. This is going to be our new powerhouse. 24/7 recording, 4K, 85 decibel siren. Great for something we're going to talk about later, what we call the 8, meeting all the neighbors. The power over Ethernet. There are two separate mounts for that we're going to go over, but this camera should be our new go-to in pretty much every solution. It's offered in power over Ethernet and plug-in models. The plug-in can be converted to PoE and vice versa. This is the Spotlight Cam Pro. So this is our 4K 24/7 solution with lights. Upgraded from last year's and the previous generation that had 500 lumens. This has 600 lumens. Again, there's two different PoE mounts. One comes in the bundle, one is only offered separately, and we're going to go over those in a minute. Same 85 decibel siren, great night vision. You can opt to have the lights on, you can have them respond, you can have them do it just in armed and away mode or armed and home mode. But this should be a new powerhouse for replacing older light fixtures, replacing floodlights, but they do want to do something with network, maybe with battery backup. And we're going to, instead of putting a floodlight up, we're going to do this with some pathway lights. It should really give us a ton of flexibility. And then with that 4K again, get one of these as a sample, email me, I'll try to find you one, especially if you have one of our previous generation cameras. That 10 times zoom demo is unbelievable. And our new floodlight looks very similar to our prior one. It's a little bit sleeker. Same 2000 lumens, fully dimmable, 24/7 recording, 140 by 85 field of view, still live two-way talk, 85 decibels. There is a plug-in model and a plug-in adapter for the wired one. And again, this is one of those where it's many clients will, oh, I already have a floodlight up there. Okay, you may not be able to see the difference between the prior generations 2K and 4K when you're watching everyday videos. But when you're zooming in to see if that's a dog or a coyote, or your son or somebody you don't know, that 10 times zoom is going to come in really handy. And I'd love for you guys to have that demo either in store or on your personal device to be able to show off to dealers to then be able to show off to customers. This is a PoE guide. So a couple of things to keep in mind. In red, in the middle of the page on the left side, it says all PoE bundles come with this version of the PoE mount. So on the right, all three of those cameras have a plug-in, a bat. So, the Outdoor Cam Plus has a battery, and then they all have a PoE version. The PoE mount that they're going to get in the bundle is the larger back box. Let me see if I have one here. I'm pretty sure I do. It is this size back box. It will cover a single gang. It'll fit on a 4-inch round, and it actually comes with a 4-inch round surface mount. It also comes with our little Ethernet to USB-C dongle that either fits in that single gang or that surface mount. If you're thinking, most of my clients or most of my jobs are just punching the hole through the wall and plugging it into the mount. If that's the case, you want to buy the mount that's in the top left corner, the Ring PoE Plus converter mount. The model numbers are there for black and white. That one just has an Ethernet right in the back of that 2.5-inch ring. Plug it right in, USB-C plugs into the camera, and you have network and power. That's my preferred mount. But again, if you do have to cover a single gang or you do have to do something where you're replacing a sconce and the guy who did it last time chipped a bunch of bricks, great. Buy the PoE bundle. This one is also available separately. So if you're not sure which mount you're going to want or need, go ahead and buy the plug-in or the battery versions exclusively, and then buy the mounts separately from Davis, whether it be the PoE adapter in the middle or the top one, the PoE converter mount. The price will come out the same. The margin will actually work out a little bit more in your favor. But it'll give you that flexibility of now we have multiple PoE camera devices with multiple PoE connection solutions. I also included in the bottom left-hand corner, a little bit smaller, the hardwired kit for these cameras. Works on all three, and it has the same form factor as the PoE Plus converter mount. So if you're like, hey, there's wiring here, they said they'd like to use it to be able to use the switch if they really need to shut it off because sometimes they hang out there and they don't want the spotlight on. Great. Let's go ahead and I'll get all the converter mounts and the hardwire kits because then at least they'll all match and then if we need a PoE, something to cover a gang box, which we don't expect, we can go back and get one. This is another page I'm going to make available to the team at Davis, so you guys can go through it. But all the model numbers on the page should make it nice and easy to go. Mr. Customer, do you want a battery powered 2K camera that has a PoE upgrade? I can make the whole network PoE or, battery backed up, or I can put a battery backed up power supply in via PoE and we can go with 4K, or we can light the property as well with that, or we can add third party lighting through some of our Ring integration. So it gives you that nice scalable, which package do you want for the house? This is most of our new devices on one page. And then the QR code in the bottom left will bring you to a registration page. That's going to bring you to the Ring Dealer Portal. And you're going to be able to do a couple things there. One, you can download all of our high-res images, some of our, point of view and our like family gatherings, people coming over for the holidays with the Ring logo in the top corner. Work great for the website and for customer interactions with emails and social media and such. What's also there on the homepage when you get logged into the Ring Pro portal is the dealer locator. And what that is dealers can, or customers rather, on Amazon.com and Ring.com will be prompted to put in their zip code to find certified installers in their area, and your information will pop up. They also have the ability to click, you know, qualify for install. I forget what the terminology is, but where they can actually fill out a form that will then be emailed to you and say, hey, Jim is looking for 3 floodlights and a doorbell, and he also has some questions about his business. And that'll get emailed to you, and you'll have the option to take it. We don't control pricing. We don't tell you what you have to charge. It's simply just a way for us to make your phone ring and your email go ding. Um, this is again all of our PoE mounts and hardwire kit mounts on the bottom. We have both doorbells with the resolution and the model numbers for each type. We have the new cameras with their model numbers for each color and type. And then there's a placeholder for something very exciting. Uh, moving on. If you guys haven't played with the new AI stuff, please do it. Email me. Let me see if I can get you a product. Or a product to cover the cost of the subscription, but the premium subscription with the smart alerts, the smart video search, and the video descriptions is ridiculous. It distinguishes between what company is doing the delivery, what type of animal is outside, who is walking up. It's not going to say Jim is walking up, but it'll say a guy in a gray shirt with a Ring logo is walking in your driveway. And it only gets better over time as you start to watch things and search for things like saying, "Hey, was anyone in the backyard last night?" And it'll search all of your cameras for all the videos of a human being in your backyard last night instead of having to sit there and scroll like a bad app. And then the video descriptions. Obviously, we don't want to know that the dog is tearing up paper towels in the living room, but it would be nicer to know then than when you come in the door and now you have to yell at the dog while they're excited. So that, hey, there's someone outside with a hood on trying to open your car door is a lot different than there's motion outside, which is a lot different than someone with a dressed like Santa is on the roof. So being able to know what it is without opening the app makes our app so much better to use. And it was already, in my opinion, the best one to use. This is what the clients, for Amazon and Ring who put in their zip code, this is what they'll see. And then it will pull up any installer within 50 miles of their request. And again, they can choose to fill that out. The other thing that's being launched, which goes perfectly with the dealer locator for all of you thinking, oh, I'm going to get so many troubleshooting calls. Good. We have a way to support those clients and for you to be the facilitator of solutions, which is the installer role within the Ring app. So similar to the way that you would add a spouse or a child or even a pet to the Ring app, now you're going to be able to click professional installer and then put their name and their email in and send a request to their installer who will get 48-hour access at an installer admin level to add and subtract devices, make changes to notifications, link devices, reset devices, all the things that you would need to do to roll the truck all the way out to do. Now you don't have to do it anymore. So when those calls come in, oh, I'm getting so many notifications and my battery's dying too soon. When can you come out? And you're like, oh man, I hope she needs something else while we're there. And go, hey, are you free for the next 20 minutes? We have a promotion. It's X amount of dollars for 20 minutes. I'll go in right now. I'll show you how to add me to your app. I'll change everything right now and we'll move forward. These will also be listed in your app, so you don't have to have a second app. You just go into your permissions and you can see everyone that you have current access to. And like I said, right now it's a 48-hour access window, but when we in future iterations, there may be other options. But this is awesome. This is rolling out now slowly, so that we don't have any hiccups, but some clients may have it. I think it's like 15% rolled out. And we have a goal that everyone will have it by the time, December or January rolls around. So check your app, see if you can add an installer. If you can, put it on LinkedIn, Facebook, and all the other social medias and say, hey, are you getting too many notifications? Have you ever thought about Ring, but you're not tech savvy or you're not, super skilled with your phone? Call us for help. It's always been my stance that people with smart home help, calling you on the phone is a very, very good thing when you provide smart home services. Now we're going to pivot a little bit into some strategy. These are some things that we've heard in the field that are working really well to support neighborhoods, make them safer, and sell some more installation services to be that provider. And we call it the eight. So when we install a doorbell on the house with the star, that has a field of view looking away from the house at other people's properties. So being able to go to those properties and say, hey, I'm Tommy. I just installed a Ring doorbell for Jimmy across the street, and I wanted to let you know it has your home in its field of view. I can add privacy zones if you want, or if you have any questions, you don't have to decide now. Here's my number. Give me a quick call or shoot me a text so I can put you on my phone. I don't always answer phone numbers I don't recognize. It's a script I've used in a bunch of different industries, and it works like crazy. By the time I get back to the driveway, I'm 2 steps away. Oh, so what is it that you do? And I get to do my elevator pitch and ask them to be a client of mine, whether or not they have a need. Hey, the next time you have a need, I'd love for you to use that card. Come out and do this kind of stuff all the time. I really like making neighborhoods safe. Once you get to the second one, now we're talking about, hey, I just put in a floodlight. We can run that same play looking back because very few people get cameras that look at their own house. Uh, Now with our new sidewalk, we have a new Ring Smart Lighting Bridge, and each out of our outdoor 4K cameras is a an expansion of that bridge. It's a repeater for it, and each one has like a half mile to an eighth of or to 8/10 of a mile range. So now when we're talking about even level locks or those tiles, or Ring Smart Lighting, even remote cameras that are way off the property, we can get notifications through Sidewalk from cameras that are nowhere near our home Wi-Fi. Now, are we going to get videos and things like that? No, but you could essentially set up a trail camera 800 yards from the back of your house and have it give you baseline motion notifications from a camera operating on the Sidewalk network. It also works here where if I'm at the house with the star, I know that this whole neighborhood's going to be covered by that. So I can say, hey, what a lot of my customers do is down by their mailbox at the front of their driveway, they'll put a couple of solar pathway lights. One to light the sidewalk, two to make it easier because it gets dark at 5 o'clock and everybody's walking around. And three, it really looks nice in the neighborhood. Would you like me to put a couple out there? And I can even offer to your neighbors because your range will go all the way through this court. So anyone outside at night walking their dog or doing anything otherwise will either be welcomed or deterred by the lights that are there. It's a really great way to meet the whole neighborhood, solve a combined need, and be that service provider that they call when they have opportunities like that. Referrals with an FUR. Our pet tag now has a feature called the search party function. And that's again, it's being rolled out slowly. Some of you, if you have any clients on the West Coast, they probably have it already. But on top of being able to put your pet's profile into lost pet mode and send out that digital lost pet flyer to everyone within 5 miles, you can also send out a search party request where they'll get that same flyer, but it'll also activate their outdoor cameras to look specifically for your dog. So you'll get a notification that says, "Hey, you opted in for a search party for your neighbor two streets over. We just saw this dog on your porch, which you can see on the screen right now in the bottom right. Is that a match for the dog at the top? Click yes or no, and it'll say, "Hey, an hour ago, 15 minutes ago, right now, that dog was seen here." It does not work with people. Don't worry. There's nothing like that. It is pet focused. It's also an incredible way to generate referrals. Because many clients don't have a business referral ready for you. They don't know if the neighbor has a blown out speaker in their garage. They don't know if he's looking for a golf simulator or looking to upgrade his pool in the off season for next year already. But we can say something like, as I'm sure you can imagine, I love referrals for more business. But I also love referrals for neighbors, friends, and family in the area who have pets that I can help keep safe. Does anyone come to mind? They'll basically give you a piggyback ride over to the neighbor's house and say, hey, she's got two. He's got across the street, he's got a horde of corgis. There's like 17 of them. But the more people that have it, the better it works. So if we can use this as a way to say, hey, this is a great low cost solution to keep everyone's pets in the neighborhood safer. And by the way, I do that for people too in a range of ways. Can I come over and give you a consultation? Um, that's that search party. Even sirens and lights, right? We talked about it with field of view, but if you're going to put an alarm system in, you're probably going to test the siren. And a lot of people work from home or are home during the day now. So setting off that siren might get a couple of nosy neighbors to peek over. And it makes sense to go over and say, hey, I'm so sorry for the alarm earlier. We were testing out, the Johnson's brand new security system from Ring. Nothing's wrong right now. That was totally a test. But I do want you to know if you hear that sound again, it does mean that their alarm system is going off. Um, so anything that you would have to do to protect yourself or help them from there. But then get back to that script. Here's my number. Give me a quick call or text. I don't always answer phone numbers I don't recognize. Even backyard stereo systems. Again, get a system out there, play it a little too loud, go on what I call the Tommy Leonard apology tour. I wanted to apologize for the test run. If you have any questions, here's my number, and we bounce around from there. For those of you who are taking advantage of that QR code, you'll see the marketing and lead generation hub in there. There's the Safe Home Living blog, there's digital asset portals. Obviously, with Davis, we do marketing development and winning strategies, content design, agent and listing security systems for real estate agents and builders. If you have an opportunity out there, if you believe you can turn one into many, please reach out to your team at Davis. Or if you're at Davis, reach out to me. And if we think one can be many, I'm happy to find the one. Um, One thing I'm really big on right now is Ring as a closing gift. I think, I came from the real estate world for a little while and I worked with real estate agents when I was still doing installations, and I was always blown away by what they chose to give away as gifts from, they buy a case of a bottle of wine and they give them a bottle, but being able to give a professionally installed solution that makes their home and neighborhood safer and makes them feel a little safer in their new home, it's a great way to do it. So if you're interested in partnering with builders, real estate agents, even mortgage companies, and providing additional value to neighbors and helping us make neighborhoods safe. I'd love to talk to you guys about that and help put you in position to win some of those opportunities. They also list properties, and there's a lot of vacant houses around the country. And we do a really good job getting ring security around people. But people own properties, and protecting their property is a way of making their home, making them and their neighborhood safer. So being able to deploy them temporarily, right, with a panic button, maybe an Alexa that you teach all the listing information to, and being able to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor, let me make you a better realtor and a more valuable realtor to your end clients and help you win and sell more houses via listing by helping you be the only person in the area who's giving, agents and buyers a panic button option if they feel uncomfortable in the house, or putting flood and freeze sensors in the basement, or glass break sensors, or whatever the case may be. But it's a really cool solution. We're getting a lot of excitement around it from a lot of the major companies. But it's something that I'd love to see Davis, your employees, and your dealers going out and chasing. And even open houses. Everyone who walks through that house either lives in the neighborhood or wants to live in the neighborhood. And that makes them a client because they have a house, they might be looking for a house. And I always used to say, I love a house with a big basement and I want to put a theater in it. Who's going to use it is up for debate. This owner, the next owner, the owner after that. But this house is my client's house. Whoever moves in is lucky enough to also be my client, and I'm going to help them be safer and more entertained. I'm going to send this over as well. There's a small change to our chime solution. Um, When it comes to is there an in-home chime? Obviously, if the answer is no, we have a bunch of integrations. We have a new chime, we have the old Chime Pro, we have all of our Echo solutions, Sonos, hundreds of integrations, TVs, lights, the whole nine. And if you're not sure about those and you want to learn more, please reach out. I'd love to do another one of these and just spend an hour on let's go through all the lists, every device that Davis carries, and talk through and brainstorm all of the integrations that are possible through the Ring, Alexa, and Savant, Brilliant, etc. platforms. Um, if they do have a chime, the new doorbell doesn't ring existing chimes because we're seeing them start to go the way of the dodo bird. So there's a small chime kit that plays the sound that either fits inside or just above the actual chime. It wires almost exactly the same way. My suggestion is just like most things is recommend that your dealers, when the first time they do the installation, they read through the checklist when they're installing it. I know we're all fans of just next, 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 but these are new, their first time. Let's not practice on our customers. Let's either read the guide or let's do something where maybe we can get these into the hands of some of our dealers to put on their properties or their shops to get used to it so that there's no hiccups in the field. The PoE version, again, if there's no in-home chime, this is a moot point. We're going to go ahead and integrate it with any number of our integrations. But yes, do they want to use the in-home chime? There is a way to do that, and this is on here. This is all on the dealer portal. This will all be sent to the team at Davis. But it is very simple. It's just slightly different. And when those things come up, build a couple extra minutes in. Take your time, explore, see what's up, be the expert. These are some additional images of our PoE mount. So the one on the left, that is the mount that comes with the PoE bundles. It also has the 4-inch round back box, which is not shown there. The dongle on the left shows that the Ethernet plugs in and then the USB-C comes out that does PoE plus and network. So it does do both. It can just do power and you can connect to Wi-Fi. It doesn't shut anything off. So you can do hybrid solutions. You can even use, like I inferred earlier, that dongle on the left. If you find yourself with a few extra after installs where you thought you'd need it and didn't, those make great low voltage phone chargers, Xbox and PlayStation chargers, where there's not an outlet behind the couch or bed, and you can run an Ethernet out there with a PoE injector, have a custom length cable that has a USB-C out to whichever connection they need. Super flexible, just solution oriented like crazy. The one in the middle is a plug-in USB-C adapter. This will power any of our cameras that have USB-C on the back. It is an in-wall and outdoor rated cable, and it has that junction in the middle, which can be mounted in wall or on the back side of a wall. This works great, especially on our older cameras where maybe it's a former Spotlight Cam Pro or Spotlight Cam Plus, the one with the two battery compartments, and you want to add that power to make them hardwired with battery backup. Really fun solution to be able to now go inside and kind of force that, hey, do you want to battery back up your Wi-Fi? Because a battery backed up camera isn't doing us any good if the Wi-Fi is down. Again, that can be fixed a little bit with the sidewalk network that we talked about, where you'll get some baseline notifications, but you won't get the videos. And then on the right, again, my favorite of the PoE adapters, the USB-C, or USB, the Ethernet cord plugs right into the back of that, kind of straight in at an angle, so it tucks in, and then the USB-C comes out. All the cameras with that mount can be mounted from a soffit or ceiling or wall, and they all fit perfectly flush and can look straight ahead. These are those cameras that I mentioned that work with these from the prior generation. So we have the indoor cam pan tilt that can be mounted upside down. It can be turned to face the wall during private moments if they don't want to be recorded inside. But again, it doesn't need to have a wall receptacle and an electrician in the house. We could run some of those adapters or the plug-in USB-C adapter up through the wall, nice and discreet, beautiful in the corner, giving us the coverage we need. Small businesses for this solution. They already have maybe an encrypted Wi-Fi, or you're in there to do something like that, maybe adding a guest network. Hey, would you like some cameras inside that are nice and discreet and up in the corner that also give you the flexibility to turn them if you need a better view? Great. Same thing with spotlight cams. They don't have to go outside. They make great backup emergency lights in strip malls and workshops and things like that. They uh, they work with the USB-C solar panel, the plugins, the PoE adapters, only for power. No PoE network on these. But being able to put this in a shed and have it motion activated or have it on a timer or put it over your garden or put it even in your basement or in your shop for after hours. So when someone looks in, the spotlight turns on. But you didn't just want an emergency light, you wanted an emergency light with a camera. And then there's the Outdoor Cam Plus. This is kind of our jack of all trades camera right now. It's the only PoE camera that also has a battery edition for now. But if you're looking for that, customer wants an entry level solution with an upgrade path if they want to get them off the Wi-Fi, if they want to get a little bit faster and snappier notifications. We can sell or discover at a customer's house. Hey, I see you have the Outdoor Cam Plus. That's a great camera. We do a lot of 4K now. We can actually upgrade that one to 2K in the settings, and I can get it off your Wi-Fi and have it performing optimally by upgrading it with one of the PoE mounts like we have the converter kit here. So even a found camera can be a very lucrative day and a wonderful solution for a client who thought they were done with something. So be on the lookout. Do you see these cameras around and they look like they're hooked up with battery or the cable's running down and plugged into a receptacle? These are found jobs that can be tons of revenue and margin and a great solution for the customer, even if you're not having to charge them for hardware because they already have it. Every camera that we see on the screen here, including a little sneak peek of the Elite doorbell here in the bottom center, they all have the 4K. They all have low light sight. They're all PoE with the exception of the floodlight. They all do 24/7 recording and the 10 time enhanced zoom. I can't recommend enough having a best bundle and having that. Would you like it 1080p basic? Would you like the good at 2K or would you like 4K or even the upgrade to 4K with lights? And then again, using something from an integration path can be just as fruitful. Retinal vision is what powers our 4K. It is sick. It does our 2K as well. You can see the difference in the low light sight. This is different from the night vision. We have two levels now. So when it gets to kind of that dusk, baseball time of day, uh, which is ironic because you can't really see the baseball during that time of day. Um, but you're seeing clear during day and night. And then obviously we have the Retinal 4K, which has adaptive night vision, which will brighten and increase that contrast to make sure that dark areas are more illuminated as far as the video comes out. This is a great one for social media. We get so many requests for license plate readers and being able to zoom in. I know I've mentioned it 4 or 5 times already, but if you don't have one of the new devices, let me try to get some giveaways down there so you guys can show prior generation versus new generation. And this demo is the best demo. This and the video AI descriptions change a lot of people's perception about Ring where maybe they've had it for years and they're like, it's just so many notifications and most of them don't mean anything. Great. What if the notification was so clear that you didn't have to open the app? Yeah, that'd be great. And then if you did, you can get a lot more information with the reverse pinch. Oh, yeah, actually, then it would be great. Let's do it. Back again, just wanted to show you guys the installer role. Please change that. Go into your permissions, see if it's up on your app. Set a reminder in your phone for every couple of days because once that's live, I have to imagine that that is going to be an unbelievable way for our customers to discover you, reach out to you, and hire you to provide solutions for them. The only other thing that gets a lot of excitement going is we talked about the 8, but there's also a way to use this with share my screen again. There's also a way to do this where you're using it from a linked devices standpoint. So instead of from a referral standpoint, you say like, hey, if I have a camera here, it's looking away from my house. Why not put a second camera at my mailbox at the end of the driveway that looks back toward my house? Um, is a thought not many people have. Everybody has cameras on the outside of the house facing away. But if you get like under that camera, you see that camera, having something that sees somebody walking up to the house from behind or then leaving the house from the front, is an excellent way to encourage customers to buy more devices and feel more secure. Um, I do that with my front doorbell. The front of my house is very close to the sidewalk and the street, so I get tons of vehicle notifications. So my doorbell now doesn't respond at all to motion. It's only the doorbell button push. And then I have a camera that's mounted up kind of under my front porch, and it looks down diagonal, so I can look kind of down the street and I can just put the motion zone that doesn't have the street. So I only get motion notifications if someone's walking up my porch. And then my doorbell starts recording through linked devices, but it doesn't have to be dinging me all day because another truck went by. It's just if I get a notification that my doorbell's recording, I know that there's somebody on my porch. So it's a solution where one of those maybe two pluses is even better than a pro doorbell there. And obviously, two pros would be the best. Other than that, if you guys don't have anything, I'll give you a few minutes back, and I appreciate the hour of your time.